Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Caitlin Clark, could she be the biggest bust of all time in WNBA history? When we talk about the hype that she came in with to be the greatest player of all time in the WNBA, and we'll talk about Pacers and Knicks. So let's first start Caitlin Clark. Remember, for months and months and months and months and months and months, she was the toast of the town, the toast of sports, the toast of who is who. That's what Caitlin Clark was. This latest game, last night, they get blown off the floor again, I think by 19. And she scores like 8 points, 6 turnovers. The Russell Westbrook of point guards, right? She's a Russell Westbrook, right? And shoots like 25%. You know, Russell Westbrook is known for shooting a pretty low percentage. And people continue to say, leave her alone. What do you expect? She's a rookie. You can't talk to her like that. Well, I didn't put no expectations on her. You did. You put the expectations on her to be the greatest woman in WNBA history and change the WNBA. So those were the expectations. She was the biggest hype. Kind of sounds familiar to me. Sounds familiar to me. Sounds familiar to me when we talk about King James. The biggest hype coming out of high school. Had all these expectations. Supposed to be the greatest thing since Michael Jordan. Came into the league. Didn't make the All-Star team. Didn't make the playoffs. The next season, didn't make the playoffs. With an All-Star teammate, they eventually had to change the defensive rules so LeBron James could make the playoffs. In thanks to Larry Hughes, right? He got Larry Hughes. Do you know, just a fun fact, do you know LeBron James wasn't the highest paid player on his team until like 2000 and what, 12, 13? 2012, it was 2012 or 13. Now, I think he was, when he got to the Heat, I think he was tied with Bosch for the highest salary on the team. I think it was one season. And then the next season, I think it's 13, is when LeBron finally became the highest paid player on his team. That's insanity. That's insane. He had people making more money than him, and he's supposed to be the leader. He's supposed to be the king. People like Antoine Jameson, people like Ben Wallace, people, I'm not lying, people like Larry Hughes, people like El Gauskas. Old ass Shaq came over there, was making more money than LeBron James. Go look it up. Go look it up. This guy was not the highest paid guy on his team until 2013. And to be real, it was times when this guy was like the third and fourth highest paid player on his team. So all these great expectations, and we've heard this before since the beginning of time, but the expectations were just expectations of a player coming into the NBA or WNBA to a lesser extent and being great. Okay, it wasn't fueled by all these people on different social media platforms, by sports media. ESPN didn't have all these talk shows like that in the past, and just pushing these players like Caitlin Clark. We can even say LeBron James to a lesser extent because they really overhyped this guy, right? He was playing nobody, right? When we talk about in high school, let's just start from the top. In the pros, The NBA, you're playing the best of college players. You're playing the best college players in the country. That's who's going to the NBA. So in the NBA, you're playing the best of the college players. In college, you're playing the best of the high school players. In high school, who are you really playing? No one. Just some dudes that tried out for the team and made the team. And LeBron playing against academy, non-athletic school kids. He was playing nobody. And he's not the first player to go to the pros. Many guys have did it. But what happened to people like Kobe Bryant? You got to sit on the bench. It was a tougher era. LeBron just came out the era that a 39-year-old Michael Jordan, 40-year-old Michael Jordan couldn't make the playoffs. Remember, they were laughing at Mike. Oh, you couldn't make the playoffs, man. Well, LeBron couldn't make the playoffs for his first two seasons. First two seasons. So I don't really know what to say about Caitlin Clark. The trend just moves on and it continues to be the same old song and dance. And this is how they're going to get attention to the WNBA through criticism instead of the greatness that we were told that she was going to bring to the WNBA after she lost back-to-back, not WNBA finals, back-to-back college championships. So you know she's not a winner. Okay, there's people who lost college championships, but back-to-back after she was hyped up out of this world, folks, she's not doing a good job saving the WNBA. And I can tell you what, the NBA is tanking in ratings by the playoff game, by the playoff series. Nothing has not been able to save the NBA. Not even this year. There's people who do reports, and if you haven't heard it, I'll bring you some numbers maybe next time I get on here. But the NBA ratings are tanking down the drain. So she was supposed to come and make people want to watch the WNBA by her putting on these stellar performances that we've never seen before. Her making prior WNBA players and present WNBA players look silly. That's what she was supposed to bring to the table. Hell, she was supposed to be the next white Michael Jordan of the WNBA, basically, right? It didn't look too good in that college championship in the second half where they pretty much shut that girl down. So you guys can go ahead. I don't see all these channels that was sucking on her, talking for her now. All these channels that dumped on the WNBA year after year after year after year. But for her, they was front running for her while she was in college. And suddenly they said they like the WNBA because she's going to save it. She's going to save it. The only reason why you want to watch her play now is to watch her fail. I think in this last game, she shot 25%. Who shoots 25%? You just got all these millions of dollars. You're supposed to be living up to this hype. That's the problem. You're getting hype before you even cash in the hype. But you're cashing in, okay. You going to buy these Caitlin Clark shoes that she's shooting a brick fest in. So let's talk about this Pacers Celtics game. And I told you, I said, look, if the Pacers win, it's rigged. And people say, oh, man, why you say that? I'm not hating on the Pacers. Look, the Pacers just aren't that good. Okay, they've been putting on scrappy performances and, you know, stuff like that, but they're a number 6 seed. We can't turn a number 6 seed into a number 2 seed, a number 3 seed, a number 4 seed. They're a number 6 seed for a reason. Okay, yes, this game and and I think another game, they turned on the motor. These are NBA players. These are great basketball players, but at the same time, they don't have the experience. They don't have the athleticism to me. They don't have the skill set to me that the Celtics have. And I think if Porzingis was playing, it would have been over a long time ago. All these games would have been blowouts. So as far as Halliburton, I don't know if he's coming back. He's a punk. He's a wussy. All these guys that sit out during the playoffs. Brunson, Jimmy Butler, I can't remember this guy's name. Donovan Mitchell. All these dudes is sissies to me. I grew up watching the NBA when players couldn't even walk and they're out there performing. Hit them with some Novocaine or something. They'll be out there until, and this is the problem. I'm not trying to say this relates to every injury, but man, these guys don't hit the weight room. These guys aren't tough. I've never seen players hit the ground in the NBA more than this era right here. These guys hit the ground all the time. They're screaming when they go up for a shot, sounding like sissies. Nothing wrong with it if you do get hit, but this is the new way to get a foul, by screaming. We know who all started that. LeBron James, a big 250, 275 pound, whenever the PED kicks in, allegedly, sissy. So, if the face of your league is going to do stuff like that, what do you think is going to happen then? Speaking of him, they said really? They said this guy got caught watching games on illegal sites. So is he betting on games too? This is just going to, fall by the knees. Nothing's going to happen. Why would this guy need to watch? Why would anybody? This isn't football. Right? I know a lot of people who do this. Well, not a lot of people, but I know people who do this to watch football games because it's not in your area. And they don't want to pay for the football package, right? Why would you need to watch a playoff game, which is on, TNT or NBC these days? Why would you need to do that? Only person would need to do that really is a real poor person, right? Who can't get TNT if you don't have cable. So LeBron is doing this, and all this does is promoting this. That's what it does. When these stories come out, it's just promoting it. That's all it does. So he's not going to get in trouble. This guy, he didn't get in trouble when he bowled up at a woman at a Denver game like he was going to hit her. The media said nothing about it. They said nothing about his PEDs. They don't say nothing about nothing except for what they want is, we're mad that he got Darvin Ham fired. How you know it was him? Now you guys are saying that he's not involved in a coaching decision with JJ Redick or any other coach. This is what Wendy is saying. Let me tell you something. If you let another man call you Wendy, your name is Brian Windhorst, right? Brian Windhorst. And you're letting people call you Wendy? How does that match up? Wendy and Wind. Like if you called him Wind, but Wendy? Come on, man. And the dude seemed like he got a lot of, fruity pebbles in his bowl, to me. Listen to him. He sounded like he got a lot of fruity pebbles up in his bowl. And you letting these people call you Wendy? And you like it? Or do you call yourself Wendy? Wendy does not, Windhorst does not translate to Wendy. That's not a nickname or Wendy and Windhorst. Come on, man. Windhorst and Wendy. Come on. You want to be called a female, right? So this is what Wendy is saying now, that LeBron James has no hand in it. He doesn't want to have a hand in it. on who's the next coach. Why don't he have a hand in retiring? Okay? That team can do better without him. You saw what they do every time this guy is out faking an injury. You see this. They can do better without him. I think they can get top 5 seed because now they can play full throttle. They don't have to play, half-ass because they're trying to wait for because they don't want to burn him out. We all know what it's about. You put them at, the play-in, barely making the play-in, and then they make the play-in. You can hear about this all season. What's wrong with the Lakers? Are the Lakers going to make the playoffs? Are the Lakers need to trade somebody? What's up with this coach? Blah, 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 blah. Is LeBron going to stay? That's all it's about. That's all that's. They're not a play-in team. They're way better than that. But they're not going to play full throttle because LeBron can't do that all season. Which means they would have to play defense. LeBron's not going to do that. So basically, it's just about making money for the Lakers. And for LeBron, it's about making money. It's not winning championships no more. Really hasn't been since he was in Cleveland. You can go ahead and throw that bubble championship away when the whole earth was sick and dying. It's how he wins championships lately. So nobody counts that bubble championship. So we actually got to go back to 2016 when this guy actually won a championship. I digress on that. So, yeah. I thought the Pacers could pull this out, but the Pacers turned into what they are. You guys saying, oh, man, you can't be talking about them like that, man, this and that. They're number 6 seed. They turned into a number 6 seed in a waning minutes. Giving up easy shots, turning the ball over, leaving guys open. And I really don't know if Halliburton, if he would have played, I don't think it would have made a difference. They actually played better without Halliburton. Better. They played a better game. Shit, they got guys on this team look like they could be number ones on other teams. They don't need Sissy Halliburton. Like I said, the dudes in the past, you would have to drag them off the floor. They was playing for legacy back then. They wasn't playing for money. They was playing for all-time legacy and ranking. And none of these guys, I don't care what you say, until they start manning up, they will never be in that top 10. And some of them won't never be in the top 15. I guess that's the one thing you can't say about LeBron. Or, well, you can. That man ain't never been out with no injury in no damn playoff game like that. He's been hurt before, and he still plays. That's the only thing good you can say about his career, really. I mean, you could say a couple other things, but as far as compared to this era right here, this ain't his era. He's just playing for money. We know that. But even in this era, dudes wasn't sitting out like that. In the 2010s, the 2000s. This is about legacy right here. And you got dudes sitting out. Greek freak too, man. I don't care what nobody say. I saw Larry Johnson. I guess it was, I forget what year he hurt his back. But let's just say in the second half of his career, that man couldn't even dunk. That man's back was messed up. And he became a jump shooter. He was real quick around the rim to get the ball in and stuff like that. Had a little low post game and stuff like that. But the man kept playing even with a messed up back. And we all knew Larry Johnson, once he came into the league, a dunking machine. High flyer. But after he hurt his back, you rarely seen this guy dunk. But he developed another game. A post game. He could shoot the three. He could shoot the mid-range and stuff like that. These guys was just different back in the day. Reggie Miller, broken fingers, all this stuff playing. Patrick Ewing, Michael Jordan was hurt all the damn time. Pippen was hurt all the damn time. And most of these players is young. These guys I mentioned just now, they was never out hurt when they was young. This is crazy. So we're giving the Pacers a free path to the damn NBA Finals. Jimmy Butler's always hurt. Do these guys even want to play, or they just want to go on vacation and be on podcasts? Do they care about legacy? Because obviously, this era right here, their greatness is based on the media. When I grew up watching basketball in the 80s and 90s, in some of the 2000s, these guys' legacy was based on what you've seen on the court. What you've seen on the court. Bernard King coming back in the game, in the playoffs, with some torn ligaments in his kneecap or something like that. Man, we go to many players, man. Will Chamberlain was always hurt in the second half of his career. Kept playing. These dudes just kept playing. What's wrong with these dudes? Like Jalen Brunson, he has no respect for me. No more. None. You don't do that in the game 7. It's hard enough to watch this basketball today, and then you got these guys cutting out the game. I'm done. What? And then you see him walking around the sideline like ain't nothing wrong with him. This is why the NBA is dying, tanking, and is trash. It don't make no sense. So you guys tell me what you think, man. You know, if the Celtics don't win this, it's going to be the biggest disappointment. I don't care who comes out of the West. They haven't played nobody to get to the finals. No real stiff competition. I know some of the teams that they played, fought hard to the end, but these were number 6 seeds, 4 seeds, and all this stuff. They didn't play nobody great. And it might turn out bad for them because a lot of these games, they should just blew these games out. It shouldn't have been no competition. They shouldn't have even been down by 18 points. What was it, last night or something like that? 20? I don't know, man. It's just different to me. Every day by the media, it's a new narrative. They don't let these guys just play a series. It's a new narrative. No, this team's going to win the series. No, next day, this team's going to win the series. No, this team's like, come on, man. Can you even get 3 games into the series before you even know who the hell's going to win the series? This is why you don't. This is why you don't bet. Or I want to bet until I don't bet anyways. I don't trust none of these sports leagues or nothing like that. You could look at the injuries right now. That's why I don't trust none of this. I see stuff like that in football all the time. A great player just be out all of a sudden in the next game. Well, that's the game, really. You ain't coming back because it was a key player. So, especially in football. Tell me what you think.